What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Friday. I'm officially on vacation. Hey, everybody, come on in, come on in, come on in. Woo, honey, I just got home. So I had to hurry up and get down here and talk to the people. I know people that already been talking about it, but we're going to get into this TD Jakes Youngblood situation. Hey, everybody, come on in, come on in, come on in. Real quick announcements, real quick announcements. Don't think I'm going to do Bell Collective tonight. I think tomorrow I'll do Bell Collective because I still have not watched last week's episode. So I do not think I'm going to watch 2 episodes tonight and then do a live. So that'll be tomorrow, real quick. And I think what I'm going to do is look at the new Tyler Perry movie. I think I'm gonna watch that tonight, and I may do a review on that. That is based on history. I love history. That's a chapter that I teach my students. So y'all get on over there and y'all check it out, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, now let's get into this TD Jakes stuff. So as you guys know, Dwayne Youngblood went on an interview on Larry Reed Live back in early November, and he told his story. He told his story about his experience with TD Jakes as he recalls it. I can't speak to that. But TD Jakes took exception to what Dwayne Youngblood had to say, and he proceeded to sue him. So in a lawsuit, you file a lawsuit, and then time is permitted for the other person to respond. So Dwayne Youngblood was supposed to respond by December the 26th, which is, the day after Christmas. We know earlier this week, TD Jakes' attorneys filed further paperwork wanting to expedite the discovery, and we deduced that he was trying to get some stuff from Larry Reed because it was Larry Reed's platform where this interview took place. And they feel like Larry Reed knows more than what he's saying or has more information and yada, yada, yada. We talked about that. Y'all can go watch the other videos and get I'm just giving y'all a little quick update, a little one too. So, and it almost seems as if they were not anticipating that Dwayne Youngblood was going to respond. I don't know why they thought there was going to be no response, but it seemed like they were anticipating a response not happening. Well, today, Youngblood filed a letter to the judge, to the court, asking for an extension of 30 days, which Pam said is not, one, is not unreasonable, and 2, it is not uncommon. She said that attorneys ask for that all the time. I'm going to read you the letter that was sent to the court, and there was some other information that was sort of dropped in there, and y'all tell me what y'all think, okay? Y'all tell me y'all's opinion. I know some of y'all have already heard what Pam had to say. I know some of y'all have already heard what Thais had to say, and maybe some other YouTubers that may have done a video on it that I have not necessarily caught. So we're going to discuss. We're going to read through this letter. Once again, thank you, Tracy. It was in my inbox before I even knew what was happening, okay? She sent me a text, and I didn't know what she was talking about. So once again, shout out to Tracy. Y'all come on in. The notifications are going out slow. So as people come in, please do me a favor, hit that like button, take a seat, and get comfortable so we can read through this letter. Let me share my screen so y'all can see what I see. So I'm not adding 20, putting 20 on 10. I might put 5 on 20, but I ain't gonna put 20 on 10, okay? Let's read through it. Let's see what the people talking about. Andrew says, set the streets on fire. Yes, honey. Set them streets on fire, honey. All right, let me make myself small as I can make myself so y'all can try to see as much of this. I know it's covered up. I have my Christmas decoration, but it is what it is. You just getting off. You caught me on time. You caught me on time, honey. I'm a little late today because I'm just getting in the house. I went out after work and with some of my friends and then I'm sorry. Lord, I lost my train of thought just that quick. Yeah, then I had to go see my dad. So here we are. Okay. Let's read through it, you guys. Let's read through it. Dwayne Youngblood. This is a public document, so even though an address is here, I'm gonna try to scroll fast. U.S. District Judge William Stickman IV, Western District of Pennsylvania, yada yada yada. R.E. Thomas Dexter Jakes versus Dwayne Youngblood et al. Because remember, Jakes got 10 John Does on there. So you see December the 20th. All right. Dear Judge Stickman, I'm writing as the pro se defendant in the above captioned matter to respectfully request a 30-day extension to respond to the complaint and to file an anti-SLAPP motion. So first of all, pro se means he is representing himself. He does not have an attorney at this time. And an anti-SLAPP motion. So if you guys have been around going back to our Whitehead days, and you are familiar with the term anti-SLAPP. So anti-SLAPP is a law which basically is to try to, hey Des Boo, is basically to try to cut down on frivolous lawsuits. So basically with an anti-SLAPP, they have them in, they do not have them in every state, but they have them in like New York and California, where we see a lot of people like celebrities and stuff like that getting sued. And it's to try to cut down on frivolous lawsuits. Okay. And what it says is that if the judge finds that if even one section of your lawsuit is deemed to be frivolous, then you are entitled to legal fees. So we saw that happen with Whitehead, where not only did he lose some of those lawsuits, but because he filed them in the state of New York, and New Jersey has it as well, that he was also having to pay the legal fees. A perfect example of that was the lawsuit he filed against the DJ, the lady, the radio DJ that used to be a rapper, where she was talking about drug dealers and the biggest hustle when they go to jail is becoming preachers, yada, yada, yada. And he basically said that she called him a drug dealer, which is not what she said. And so he lost that case, and he owes legal fees. Another good example is Russell Simmons versus Kimura. We know right now they're in litigation, and a lot of people were reporting that Russell Simmons lost that lawsuit. He did not lose that lawsuit. He lost one part of that lawsuit got thrown out, but because of the anti-SLAPP laws in the state of North Carolina, in the state of California, he now has to pay Kimura her legal fees for that one section that got thrown out because of anti-SLAPP. He has not lost that lawsuit, but one part of the lawsuit did get thrown out, and it was being reported that he didn't he lost the lawsuit. He did not. Okay, so that's what so it sounds like Dwayne Youngblood, and so the state of Pennsylvania has anti-SLAPP as well. And it sounds like Dwayne Youngblood is saying not only is this lawsuit frivolous, but I am going to go after my legal fees back under anti-SLAPP. Now, excuse me, Mr. Youngblood, sir. Okay, can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. Mr. Youngblood, excuse me, sir. How you going to get legal fees if you represent yourself? You gonna pay yourself for your time? Okay. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I hit the button on the mic, so let me know if y'all can hear me or not, please. I don't want to keep talking if y'all can't hear me. The chat's not moving, so I'm assuming y'all can hear me. You hear me fine? Okay, good. I didn't want to keep talking and y'all couldn't hear me. All right. Thank you. Hey, Hibiscus Rose. Hey, Boo, Andrew. Okay, chill. All right. I know y'all will let me know. So that's what's going on. Okay, so let's keep reading. I am currently in the process of attempting to retain local counsel. However, as I'm only employed part-time, securing legal representation has proven to be financially challenging. Now, let's remember, TD Jakes is suing him. He is not suing TD Jakes. So for people that are like, well, what you mean? Why you can't? He ain't suing TD. TD's suing him, okay? He said he only got a part-time job and it's been hard for him to find an attorney. Now, I know other people might say, well, what happened to Blackburn? Well, from my understanding, Blackburn is not, he is not barred in the state of Pennsylvania. If they were going to file a lawsuit against TD Jakes, I'm assuming that they were not going to file it in the state of Pennsylvania because Tyrone Blackburn is, from my understanding, cannot practice law in the state of Pennsylvania. A lot of people don't realize that a law degree is a state-by-state licensure. Okay? You have to, there's ways that you can go into other jurisdictions if you haven't passed the bar. But again, that's... Pam had to break that down, child. That's the whole situation. But he, from my understanding, is not a barred attorney in the state of Pennsylvania. He would still need to find an attorney in the state of Pennsylvania that I think what they call it ad hoc or something like that, where Blackburn will be able to come in, but they would still have to find an attorney that would allow that to happen. Okay. I believe an extension will provide me with the necessary time to obtain appropriate representation and to prepare a thorough response and an anti-slap motion to dismiss. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to keep reading because I'm going to keep reading. Okay. Your Honor, I have unwavering confidence that the court will discern. You could tell he a preacher, child. He discerning stuff. That the court will discern the lack of merit in the plaintiff's claims, which I firmly believe constitute a violation of my First Amendment rights. In other words, he said, listen, it's my story and I have a right. Yeah, but Youngblood lives in Pennsylvania. Youngblood lives in Pittsburgh. Yeah, TD Jakes lives in Texas, but Youngblood lives in Pittsburgh. So that's why they filed it in Pennsylvania. All right. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. Something was on my glasses. Okay. The United States Constitution guarantees that Congress shall make no law respecting and establishing a religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. This fundamental right underpins my ability to share my life experiences, truthful and supported by evidence as protected speech. He didn't quote the Constitution, said, listen, the First Amendment says I have a right to A, B, C, and D. Okay? In support of my defense, I intend to present 7. I'm going to say that. Hold on. Let me read that again. In support of my defense, I intend to present 7 sworn and notarized affidavits which corroborate the facts I have shared for over 3 decades regarding the trauma I endured as a teenager as a result of the plaintiff's and others' actions. So wait a minute, hold on, let me pause. Hold on. He's saying I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people who have written affidavits that have been notarized that will say, listen, he's been telling this story for 30 years. He didn't just start telling this story yesterday. He didn't start telling this story last week. He has been telling this story for 30 years. Now, the affidavits don't mean that the story is true. The affidavits mean that he didn't just make this up last week when he was talking to Larry Reed and they conjured this up, which is part of what TD Jakes was saying the other day was he feel like him and Larry Reed cooked this up and Larry Reed knows that this is a lie. Well, what he's saying is, listen, if it's a lie, I've been telling it for 30 years. I didn't just start telling this story. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people have written documentation, have sworn that it's true, and has had it notarized with their name on it to say, It is. You know what, Kim? That's a good point. I wonder if he used ChatGPT. Because I was thinking that maybe he had a friend of his who was an attorney that helped him write it. But you're right. He might have just went on over to ChatGPT, child. Because, I mean, sure, okay. He says, these affidavits will be accompanied by photographic evidence from the period in question, including images taken during the month I met Mr. Jakes and during events at the church where he preached. Notice he didn't call him Bishop Jakes. He said Mr. Jakes. Ain't nobody called that man Mr. Jakes in 30 years, but okay then. I ain't mad at you. He said, he ain't no bishop to me. That's what he said. Okay. Additionally, I will provide documentation of complaints I made to the senior bishop of Higher Ground, Always Abounding Assemblies, of which Mr. Jakes is vice bishop. Hold on, what? Additionally, I will provide documentation of complaints. He said complaints with an S, meaning there was more than one complaint that I made to the senior bishop of Higher Ground, Always Abounding Assemblies, of which Mr. Jakes is a vice bishop. So what he's saying is, I will also provide documentation that I've been complained about this man. And he put an S on the word complaints, which makes me feel like there's more than one complaint. When you plural, right? More than one, plural. Huh. Regal, you're right. He may have written it himself. Regal said, don't sell that man short. Regal said, everything I can't even get it together. Everything is not AI. Some people have intelligent writing skills. You're right. You're right. Regal, are you male or female? I don't want to misgender you, my love. But Regal said, don't sell that man short. You don't know him. You don't know that man. He might be able to write well. Don't be just trying to say it's ChatGPT. You're right. You're right. Kim said, wait, he has made complaints. Now, this is what he's saying. I ain't seen him yet. He is saying he will produce complaints with an S that he done sent over to the people. Ooh. He said these complaints include a conversation facilitated by Senior Bishop Sherman Watkins between myself and Mr. Jakes during a visit to my church between 1992 and 1993. So it sounds like, see, when people start putting names on stuff, I'm not saying it make it true. You a male. Okay, Regal. I ain't want to misgender you, boo. I'm not saying that makes it true just because you are willing to put a name on it. I'm not saying that makes it true. But when you start saying, listen, I met with Bishop Sherman Hemsley, and we sat down and had a face to that man name ain't Sherman Hemsley, y'all. I'm sorry. The man name ain't Sherman. Before y'all start correcting me, I know I just added Hemsley, but it was Bishop Sherman somebody. Listen. And we had a sit down face-to-face conversation in 1992 or somewhere around abouts, which makes me believe that Bishop Sherman has either already agreed to testify or he said, listen, I'm going to call him because he was there and it happened. He said, at that meeting, I directly confront. Y'all, he said, at that meeting, I directly confronted Mr. Jakes regarding his actions. And he made a revealing admission that supports my claim. Y'all, let me read that without my excited utterances. Let me read that without my excited utterances. Right, y'all. I was joking about the Sherman Hemsley. His name is Sherman Watkins. His name is Sherman Watkins. Sorry, y'all. My man. Not shine down the lights from heaven, Lord. Don't do that. Shine on me. Let me stop. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Let me read this thing. Okay, let me read it without my stuff. Additionally, I will provide documentation of complaints I made to the senior bishop of Higher Ground Always Abounding Assemblies, of which Mr. Jakes is vice bishop. These complaints include a conversation facilitated by Senior Bishop Sherman Watkins between myself and Mr. Jakes during a visit to my church between 1992 and 1993. At that meeting, I directly confronted Mr. Jakes regarding his actions, and he made a revealing admission that supports my claims. My God. Y'all remember, and I know some of y'all don't be feeling Larry Reed, and that's okay. Everybody has a right to feel how they feel. I know some of y'all don't feel Larry Reed, and that's okay. That is all right. But y'all remember when this lawsuit was filed and Larry said, I don't think this was a good move. Larry said, I don't think Jakes thought this through. Larry said, I don't think this was a good idea. Now, that does not mean that everything in this letter is true. Until I see it, I don't know what it is. Until I see it, I don't know what it is. But this is what the man is telling us. Now, let me keep reading this letter. I'm gonna stop talking. I know I'm adding my own little sugar to the sauce, but that's what we do over here. This ain't, Pam, she has to stay very, very attorney-like. And y'all know Thais is gonna cut up. I'm gonna add my own little, but baby, let's keep reading it. It is important to emphasize that I have expressed concern about these events spanning multiple decades in the late 1980s, 1990s, and early 2000s. Despite my consistent and public recounting of these incidents, Mr. Jake did not see fit to file a defamation lawsuit against me during any of those years. This inaction suggests that Mr. Jakes himself recognized the validity of my statements or deemed them unworthy of legal challenge at the time. Furthermore, it is telling that Mr. Jakes actively participated in my 2004 ordination as a bishop in the HGAAA, serving as one of the counselors despite his full awareness of my public statements about his actions. These facts highlight the baseless nature of the current lawsuit and further affirm my assertion of the truth. So, wait a minute! So you mean to tell me that you had a sit-down conversation with Bishop Jakes in 1992-ish, and you told him everything that you alleged that man did to you, and y'all had a conversation about it, and you mean to tell me that in 2004, not only did he support you becoming an ordained minister, he was there? He participated in your ordination 10 years later? My God. Y'all, what we thinking about this in the chat? Yeah. This is an old hymnal comes to mind as I'm reading through this, y'all. Now, y'all know I didn't grow up Baptist. I didn't grow up Kojic. But an old hymnal comes to mind by the old choir CNC Music Factory. And the refrain goes a little something like this. It's getting is getting kind of hectic. This is a mess. Depending on denomination by law, he might have been required to participate in the ordination. That's what Jonathan Ford said, and he has a little insight into that. But here's what I don't understand, though, y'all. This is what I don't understand. Uncle Jay said, this how I know he lying, because bishops are not ordained. Bishops are consecrated, so he ain't even tell his elevation correctly. He didn't say he was a bishop, did he? Hold on. I thought he was saying, hold on, let me go back to the letter. Oh, yeah, you're right. He did say his ordination as a bishop. Uncle Jay said, I call foul. That is not the correct terminology. Now, that makes a point. Jonathan Ford said, you're right. Jonathan Ford said, you are right. You are right. See, I don't know. I didn't grow up with none of these people like that. See, Jonathan said, okay, Jonathan is co-signing Uncle Jay. Oh, okay. See, that's why I need y'all. That's why I need y'all with me. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Jay and Jonathan. Let's keep reading. See, I was thinking, wow. But if that's not even the right word, so bishops are consecrated. Okay. Okay. All right, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading, honey, because that's a good point. The legal principle at stake in this case is grounded in the precedent established by the New York Times Company versus Sullivan. Okay, you quoting legal documents, legal cases, which provides robust protection for individuals expressing opinions or recounting personal experiences, even if they are controversial, provided they are truthful or expressed without actual malice. Furthermore, in Hustler Magazine versus Falwell, the Supreme Court reaffirmed that speech about public figures related to matters of public concerns enjoys heightened protection under the First Amendment. The United States Supreme Court's decision emphasizes the paramount importance of safeguarding freedom of expression, particularly in cases involving significant public interest or personal narratives. I respectfully request the opportunity to include photographic evidence with my forthcoming filing to support my assertions. This includes, now here go the pictures that Pam was talking about earlier. Okay, let's look at these pictures. Okay. Here's a photograph of myself as a teenager taken during the month I met TD Jakes. You was a nice looking guy there, Mr. Youngblood. Okay, all right. You was nice looking. Okay. A photograph of myself performing at the church where Mr. Jakes was preaching during that relevant time. Okay, so he's singing. He got the mic in his hand. He's singing. Okay. With his white pants on. I see you. All right. Okay. Photographs documenting my 2004 ordination ceremony with Mr. Jakes officiating. Okay, well, there go Jakes. That is Jakes. That's him right there. That is Jakes right there. That is him right there. Mm-hmm. There's no mistaking that. Okay. I contend that this lawsuit represents an attempt to silence me and suppress my First Amendment rights. It is neither unlawful nor defamatory to truthfully share one's life experiences, as I did during my interviews on October the 28th and on November the 3rd. Child, listen. He said, my story is it happened, your story is it didn't happen, and I have a right. And I have a right to tell my story. Jonathan said, but where was he? Oh, Lord, here we go. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, Jonathan. Hold on. Let me scroll up. Let me see. Do we see him? Hold on, let me see him. Is that him right there? That's him right there, isn't it? That's not him behind him? I don't know these people. I know that's Jakes. I don't know. That's definitely not him. That's not Youngblood behind him? Okay. Plaintiff Jakes has used his position to harass and target me throughout the years. And as recently as November the 3rd of 2024, had his own son, Jermaine Jakes, reach out to me and threaten me on social media. This threat is what led me to seek out legal counsel. as I was and am in fear of my life and safety. Upon information and belief, Bishop Jakes and his family have a reputation of having individuals who challenge them or expose their dirty dealings disappeared. Oh, he not insinuating that TD Jakes be disappearing people. This allegedly is a screenshot of a message from Jermaine Jakes, and it says question mark, question mark, question mark. And then it says, you might be in dangerous territory, Dwayne. Just be careful. Oh. Well, you did say his daddy was a pedo. And I mean, I could see. I mean, that's his daddy, you know. In conclusion, I respectfully request that the court grant me a 30-day extension to secure legal representation and to prepare and file my anti-SLAPP motion to dismiss. I appreciate the court's understanding and consideration of my circumstances. Sincerely, Dwayne Youngblood. All right, y'all. So listen. Let me tell y'all my opinion. Let me give y'all my opinion, y'all. And I know some of y'all ain't gonna like my opinion, and that's okay because that's what we do over here. We can respectfully disagree. Okay, Jonathan said I can't speak for anybody else's denomination, but we keep minutes from each ordination service, right? So they'll be able to prove whether TD Jakes was actually there or not, or if this is just he blowing smoke. So let me say this. And I'm nobody's attorney. I didn't go to nobody's law school, and I haven't even talked to Pam about this one-on-one. So this is all just coming from my opinion, okay? Does anti-SLAPP apply if you're not a CC? What does that mean? I don't understand what you mean. You mean if you're not a content creator? I don't understand what you mean. Does anti-SLAPP apply if you're not? When you say CC, you mean content creator? Anti-SLAPP applies to anybody. Anybody can be yeah, that applies to anybody. Yeah, anti-SLAPP doesn't have anything to do with you being a content creator. Anti-SLAPP is somebody saying that you're filing a frivolous lawsuit. That's what an anti-SLAPP is about, saying that there's no basis for your lawsuit. Yeah, it has nothing to do with you being a content creator, Danielle. So, from my understanding, TD Jakes is saying that I am filing this lawsuit because there is absolutely what Dwayne Youngblood said is absolutely positively ridiculous. There's no truth to it. He knows he's telling a lie. Larry Reed is in cahoots with him, and they cooked this story up together to tell this lie, and there's just no truth in it. Dwayne Youngblood, and if I'm wrong, correct me. If there are any attorneys in here, correct me. Dwayne Youngblood doesn't have to prove that he's telling the truth in order to say that TD Jakes' lawsuit is frivolous. He just has to prove that there's some reasonable belief that the story could be true. So him showing pictures saying, hey, these pictures are around the time that I'm saying this event happened, it shows that we were around each other around that time, right? Right, Kim. He only has to prove that this isn't something he just said 2 months ago. But if he can show that this is a story he has been telling for the last 30 years, and TD Jakes was aware of this story for the last 30 years, and at no point in time did he file any sort of defamation, Why now? Why? And I understand that in their lawsuit they're saying because the platform that he chose to use was such a big platform. But again, if you know that someone is telling this lie on you that is so defaming of your character, in 30 years you never felt the need to sue him before? And I'm not saying he don't. I mean, he has a right to sue whenever he feel like he want to sue. Let's be clear. But I'm talking about what Dwayne Youngblood has to prove, right? He doesn't have to prove not here. I mean, if it goes to trial, he does, right? How can he prove that that TD Jakes knew? He doesn't have. So what? I don't think he has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that TD Jakes knew. I think he has to prove that he didn't just start telling this story. Now, if those affidavits come in and in those affidavits, those people are saying, hey, he's been telling this story for 30 years. If that Bishop Sherman Watkins is one of those, let me tell y'all something. If Sherman Watkins is one of those affidavits and he's saying not only did TD Jakes know about this story, but we had a meeting about it in 1992. And in that meeting, it was discussed. Now, he might not even have to reveal. I mean, I know in the Catholic Church, they could claim, that it was done in a confessional situation and a priest doesn't have to reveal what was said. But if he's willing to say, yes, that conversation was had in 1992, and he told that story to TD Jakes in a meeting in my office in 1992. He doesn't have to prove that when I'm saying these things, I'm saying this is my opinion, y'all. I don't think he has to necessarily prove that TD Jakes admitted that he did it, apologized, or nothing like that. He's just saying, look, you've known this has been my story for 30 years. And even going back to that, where he said he filed complaints. If he can go back and has those actual complaints and they're dated from 30 years ago, I don't know how TD Jakes can say he didn't know about these stories prior to today. This is just my opinion. Again, I ain't go to nobody's law school. This is my opinion. I don't think, again, what he's trying to do is say, TD Jakes is saying that this is something I just made up, that I'm trying to defame his character, that I'm linking up with Larry Reed and we're out to get him and we're trying to get him. And what he's saying is, not only have I been telling this story for 30 years, but Bishop Jakes knows I've been telling this story for 30 years. And not only does he know I've been telling this story for 30 years, we have had conversations about my version of events. Again, TD Jakes don't have to agree and say they're true or that he's saying they happened. He's just saying, bro, you knew. You knew I've been saying this. I didn't just start telling this story. Unless the church is complicit in hiding this activity. Ooh, I want to know who them 7 affidavits are. I'm pretty sure one of those affidavits is his brother, which we could throw that out. We could throw that out. Child, we could throw that out. Uncle Jay said, couldn't TD say over the years there have been a number of people to make false accusations and was just one? Absolutely he can. But Uncle Jay, now it comes down to my word against yours. That doesn't, see, I think people misunderstand that the bar for defamation is high. The bar for defamation is high. I think people, and I'm not talking about you, Uncle Jay, I'm saying people in general. I think people think that what happened with Cardi B and Tasha K, that was Tasha K screwed up her own case. Like, that's a whole nother conversation. But the bar is very high for defamation because you have to almost prove that the person knew they were telling a lie when they told it, that the person is doing it with some level of malice. And what I'm saying is that doesn't mean that what Youngblood is saying is true. But what it does mean is if somebody's been telling a story for 30 years, that doesn't mean that their story has been true for 30 years. But what it means is it would be hard to prove that he's he's been intentionally lying on this man for 30 years and that there isn't some part of him that believes this really happened, especially if he can prove that he met TD Jakes the way he said he met TD Jakes, and that at least some of the events are true, meaning, yes, TD Jakes was there. Yes, he preached the revival or whatever he was there for. Yes, I sang at that particular church service that night. Yes, he stayed at that woman's house where I said he stayed, the woman's house I said he stayed at. Yes, I drove him around while he was there. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that means, I'm not saying anybody's telling the truth. I'm talking about the bar that has to be proven for defamation. You saying that person lied on me, that's not the bar for defamation. Especially when you're a public figure. It's even harder when someone is a public figure. It is a lot harder to prove. Right, Uncle Jay, you have to prove that this man intentionally sat down and made these lies up. Now, again, now it comes down to a jury to say, because now it's your word against mine. That's like if I say, I went out with Kim one night, and we went out to dinner, and on the way home from dinner, he assaulted me. We were in the car and he slapped me. Well, it's my word against his. Now it's up to a jury to say, well, she did have pictures of a handprint on her face. We can't prove that Kim did it, but she did have pictures. Kim saying it didn't happen. She saying it did happen. She was assaulted by somebody. How do you prove that I'm intentionally lying on Kim if I have evidence to show that I was assaulted? You see what I'm saying? That doesn't mean I'm telling the truth. But the bar is so high. Now you add in the fact, let's say Kim is an international recording star. The bar goes even higher. That's all I'm saying, y'all. I ain't saying that this man telling the truth. Listen. I don't know Jakes, I don't know Larry, and I don't know Youngblood. I don't know none of these people. I don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. I don't know if somebody lying or somebody. We know one thing for sure and two things for certain. Somebody lying. Both of them can't be telling the truth. Let's call a thing now. Both of them cannot be telling the truth. Now, you can choose to believe Jakes or you can choose to believe Youngblood, but both of them can't be telling the truth because one of them is saying that this never happened. The other one is saying it did happen. Somebody lying. Now, if you're on a jury, take out of the equation what you know about Larry, because I know a lot of y'all feel how y'all feel about Larry. Take out of the equation what you think about Larry, and take out of the equation that Youngblood is also a felon. Because if this goes to trial, that information will not be let in. They're not going to let that information in that he's a convicted felon. Well, if he has a good enough attorney, it probably won't come in. So now ask yourself, if you're sitting on the stand and you hear TD Jakes tell his story and say it didn't happen, and you got Youngblood saying, but it did happen, and this is why I'm saying it happened, and TD Jakes is saying, well, this is why I'm saying it didn't happen. Well, hell, now you got to figure out which one you think is lying. That doesn't rise to the, in my opinion, that doesn't rise to the legal definition of defamation, though. Now, that's my opinion. I don't know that to be true, though, because I didn't go to nobody's law school, okay? I don't have no JD or nothing. Y'all know I got my law degree from Law and Order University by way of Matlock College. That's all I know. That's all I know. Regal said, I think they both tell a little bit of the truth and some lies and some truths. And you know what? The truth probably is somewhere in the middle. And I ain't saying what part of the middle. I ain't saying what part of the middle. I'm saying somewhere in the middle. Moni in the middle. Where's she at? In the middle. That's all I know. I'm a troll, but I'm too depressed to do comedy. What? Child. Do I not have the gate? Look, I had to take Thais's words. I don't have the gate closed. Is the gate open? Lord have mercy. I got the gate open. Hold on. No, the gate is closed. You just waited 5 minutes to say that. Okay. Yeah. So, y'all, that is what the update is on that. So, don't expect I wouldn't expect Regal. I have a jukebox in my head. I can't help but sometimes the songs just be in my head, child. So here's what I think is going to happen over the next month or so. I think that TD Jakes is going to probably still, try to do whatever it is he's trying to do. I think TD Jakes is taking a page out of the Jay-Z playbook. I think he's in fight mode. He's like, before y'all get started, because Larry Reid said he has, a bunch of people coming that's got stories to tell. So before y'all start filing all of these lawsuits, I'm going to get in front of it and I'm going to fight it. You see, he's also going after YouTubers who spread that AI video of him allegedly with Diddy. Y'all remember that AI video that was going around? So it looks like he is taking a page out of the Jay-Z the Jay-Z page of the book of Jay-Z, honey. That's what it looks like is happening out of the book of Jay-Z. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get out of here. Like I said, I think I'm gonna watch that Tyler Perry movie tonight, and we'll talk about it later on this weekend. But thank y'all for being here. If you haven't done so already, if you can hit that like button on your way out the door, I appreciate it so much. And you guys enjoy your Friday night, honey. And I will talk to y'all later. Mwah, peace.